What's up, everybody? Less than 2 weeks ago, we got Season 5 of Modern Warfare 3 and Warzone. We've talked about what the overall meta is. We've put out a bunch of loadouts for individual guns. Yesterday, we talked about what the best long-range loadouts are. I'll link all of those videos down below if you want to go check those out for yourself. But today, we are talking about close range, your SMG, no shotguns, because we don't do shotguns here, but what your best SMGs essentially are. There's no true ARs in there, even though the STG could have an argument. It's just really SMGs, no shotguns, like I said, because we don't do shotguns, and there's no pistols or anything, so no surprises there. Before I get into it, please don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell if you like this type of content and you want to see it before anyone else, and let me know in the comments down below what you think of my rankings, the attachments, what you would change, what you like, what you don't. Let me know down below. Also, we'll have my Twitch link down below. If you want to come see me live, you want to come hang out and chat, you got any questions, you want me to try anything, want to ask me anything, feel free. And I also have all my other social medias linked down below if you are interested in following me anywhere else. Always makes my day. But without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the loadouts, and then we'll look at true game data quickly as usual, and I'll have that link down below as well. Okay, so starting off with number 5 is kind of a surprising one. And once again, I apologize for this FPS bug if it looks kind of choppy at points. I don't know what's going on with it. It's been stuck at 30. I've changed settings. My menu FPS is at 60. So sorry if it looks choppy. But a surprising Striker, not the Striker 9, just the Striker has inched its way into the meta here. So we're going to go to Gunsmith. We have the M35 compensated flash hider. Now, I know the Quartermaster is taking over and it's on everything, but I really like the vertical aim stability, the firing aim stability, which we get with the ZEM 35 compensator that you don't get with the Quartermaster. I don't need as much recoil help up close. There's more of an aim down sight penalty with the Quartermaster, and there's more of and there's a sprint to fire penalty, which doesn't exist on the ZEM. You do get better recoil control, but there's a lot more negatives as well. Then we go to the Striker Elite Long Barrel. We do that over the Recon Long Barrel because that only gives us bullet velocity and range and idle sway. Well, the Elite Long also gives us gun kick control and recoil control help, and we're not using the stubby barrel, although it could be interesting if you were trying to be a little bit faster. From there, we do the DR6 hand stop, which is pretty usual. Helps with movement speed, sprint to fire speed, aim down sight speed, all important stuff. Then from there, we go 60 round mag. It is the biggest mag. If you're playing solos, duos, you could go 48. Save yourself on ADS penalty, movement speed penalty, and reload penalty. And then finally, we have the FSS priority tactical stock that gives you recoil control, movement speed, and sprint to fire speed. You could drop the stock or the hand stop, and that's going to be kind of a preference thing to go to high grain rounds if you want. I'm not as worried about bullet velocity and damage range on SMGs that are close range, or if you don't like iron sights, drop one of those attachments as well. Throw your favorite throw your favorite optic on there. If you're going with the Quartermaster, definitely switch to the Jack glasses. You will have another ADS penalty on top of it, but you'll get some of that firing aim stability back. So then we're moving on to number 4, which is going to be the FJX Horus, something that I thought really could be meta. It kind of got into it, and then it immediately got nerfed and was not in the meta anymore. This is the one case where I use the Quartermaster because not only is the visual recoil bad, the actual recoil is the worst of any on this list. So I actually do go with the Quartermaster here because it just needs that extra recoil help. I used to have a rear grip instead of an underbarrel, but with the Quartermaster, I don't have to do that anymore. Then with the Mantis Heavy Barrel, which gives us some of our firing aim stability, which means we don't need to worry about it as much. Recoil control and gun kick control. The light barrel helps with movement speed and aim down sight and sprint to fire, which the Horus does need some help with, but hurts your recoil and your firing aim stability. And the long barrel, you can also use the long barrel, but it doesn't help with the recoil. It does give you firing aim stability, and they did just recently nerf the damage range on the FJX Horus, which is why it slid all the way down to 4, so that is an option. But this thing has the most recoil of any of these SMGs on this list, so I like the heavy barrel. Then we go to the DR6 hand stop. Because it isn't the fastest moving SMG, it's pretty slow. Otherwise, we would go the Edge and emphasize the difference between the Edge and the DR6 hand stop is going to be the movement speed is better on the DR6, but the ADS and sprint to fire speed is better on the XRK Edge. If you don't mind the bit slower speed, go with the paracord grip. It helps your sprint to fire. It helps your horizontal recoil, which is what this gun struggles with a lot and is a really good option here. It's one of the few times that I would strongly consider the paracord grip. But DR6, XR Cage, or paracord, it's something you got to play with and try out for yourself. 60 round mag. Once again, if you're playing solos or duos, go with the 48. But 60 is nice, and unless they changed it secretly, it shouldn't hurt your ADS anymore. 12%, 12%, yeah, all the stats are the same, so there's not a reason not to go with the 60. But if you want to go with the 48, you could in like duos, but there's no point. And then optic of your choice, I've really started to like the Morse dot sight. If you're struggling with some of the firing aim stability, since we don't have the ZEM 35 compensator, you can switch to the Jack Glassless. Then at number 3, we have, surprisingly, we have the BP50 with the conversion kit. That's why I said no true ARs were on the list. A little hint, hint. And we have the M35 compensated flash hider. Once again, surprisingly, this thing's ADS speed and movement speed are pretty good. So Quartermaster does have a very strong case to take over here, but I do like the firing aim stability, especially with no optic and me struggling with iron sights. We have barrel, under barrel, stock, comb, and magazine all blocked. So that kind of opens up attachment slots. So you can do a couple different things. One is the laser. Now, remember, you are completely visible when you have this laser on, but it greatly helps aim down sight speed plus 13%, sprint to fire plus 19%, and tac stance spread minus 16. So this thing really helps it be an SMG competitor. And honestly, I think 3, 2, and 1 all have an argument over each other to where it's a preference of what you put 1, 2, or 3. It's kind of 1A, 1B, and 1C. Surprisingly, the BP50 is very good right now. So because we have another attachment slot, of course we're going high grain rounds. That's always like the next attachment in line if you take something off of a different build. And then really you could go an optic here, although I don't believe the iron sights are too bad. And I'm someone who doesn't like iron sights. And go with the TRST IV grip tape, which gives you recoil control, gun kick control, and firing aim stability. With that firing aim stability is another reason that you could consider going Quartermaster here over ZEM. I don't know if neither of these help with firing aim stability otherwise, and they don't help with aim down sight speed. They do help with sprint to fire speed though. And then of course we have to have the conversion kit. That's obviously the most important thing here. Otherwise, the BP50 is not in this conversation at all, let alone contending towards the top spot. So it's gonna be the BP50 loadout. Then number 2 is the Superior. The Superior is finally number 2. Now, some people would think my build is a little dated, but I still really like this build. This, for the most part, maxes out your move speed. You can technically make it a little bit faster, but it's a move speed balance, essentially. We have the ZEM for the same reasons. Quartermaster, once again, if you really want to make this thing 0 recoil. The Bore 99 short barrel to really help us with movement speed. That's not the same button. You look at the movement speed, it helps plus 13% on ADS and 11 on sprint to fire, plus 7 on movement speed, 6 on sprint speed, and 8 on tac sprint speed. Nothing else is going to give you that type of movement bonus here on an already very fast moving SMG. But some people will run no barrel. I've seen the heavy barrel as well. As a sniper support, run the Hound Guard heavy barrel over the Lux heavy barrel. But I wouldn't recommend that. Some people go no barrel in favor of going high ground rounds, or high grain rounds rather, or an optic, and a very similar build to what I have here. Then we have the DR6 hand stop. Same thing as we always use it for. We're using that for the movement speed. If you want even faster ADS, which you don't need with this, you can go with the XRK Edge. Then we have the 40 round mag. Unfortunately, there is no bigger magazine than that. And then we have the Rescue 9 stock, where I said the movement speed could be even faster. You could go Jack Cutthroat, and that really helps your movement speed, but it's going to hurt recoil control, gun kick control, aim, idle, sway. Same thing, no stock. If you really wanted to amp up this being quick, you could go with that, but there's just so many penalties. Rescue 9 stock gives you recoil control plus movement speed plus tac sprint speed plus sprint speed. Definitely the way to go, although you could be more schmoovy with the Jack Cutthroat. So this is the loadout I'm going to recommend. You can drop the barrel like so many people do, and then go with like high grain rounds, an optic if you really need one. You could drop the stock because this already has good movement speed and do the same thing. You could drop stock and barrel, leave the hand stop. You could do some things because this is really a movement SMG with not a lot of recoil, but I do think this is the best build that you can run. And then finally, in the number 1 spot, if you didn't already guess it, is going to be the Static HV. Dude, I don't know what's going on with this game. It's just running poorly at menus right now. I tested. I jumped into a match. ZEM 35 commentator, same thing. The Quartermaster, I would recommend a little bit less here because the ADS is slower than like the Superior. But you can go Quartermaster, of course. Then we have the Garrote 8 long barrel. That's going to give you bullet velocity and range. You can go with this light barrel if you want to make it faster. It helps with ADS speed, sprint to fire speed, and movement speed, but it hurts recoil, hurts gun kick control, which just doesn't have a whole lot of recoil, but I like adding the bullet velocity and range here. I think that's worth it. The comp barrel helps recoil control, gun kick control, and firing aim stability, which is a good option to consider if you're going to go quartermaster. It does hurt ADS and sprint to fire speed, whereas the long barrel doesn't, but it is something to consider if you're going to go with the quartermaster. Then we have the XRK Edge to help that aim down sight speed. Once again, ADS speed 7 and 6% for sprint to fire. DR6, or sorry, not ADS speed. I'm talking backwards. Movement speed, we're going to go 8, 16, and 8. Remember those numbers because now they're 6, 11, and 5. ADS is well enough. It is a little bit slow moving, so I go with the XRK Edge hand stop, but go either one of those. Optic of your choice. We have no magazine slot, so of course you can do a couple of things. You can go optic of your choice. There is no high grain rounds, so you can't go that way. You can't go rear grip when you're running this last stock, so it's really laser or optic. You could go laser to make it ADS really fast. The Chimera Royale 33 laser light does help you ADS way faster, but we do end up falling onto the stock here with the Spry 34 light stock. Helps sprint speed, movement speed, aim down sight speed, walking speed. I think Guardian was another one that people recommended, but it doesn't help the move speed, and we already helped recoil control, firing aim stability, and gun kick control. The heavy stock, a lot of penalties, but maybe if you're using this more sniper support role, you could go that way. And then no stock just penalizes any gun pretty much to the point where it's not worth it in most cases. So this is your number one SMG. This is the way I like to build it. This is the build I definitely recommend. Just to recap, 5, we had the Striker. 4, we have the FJX Horus. 3, 2, and 1, all kind of pretty close competition tied with each other with the BP50, the Superior 46, and the Static HV. If you were just here for the loadouts, thank you so much for hanging out with us. Once again, please don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell if you like this type of content and want to see it first. And let me know what you think of my ranking, my loadouts, my weapon choices, any of that down in the comments below. And for the rest of us, we're going to go to True Game Data. Okay, and now we're over here on True Game Data. We have the 5 SMGs. So I have the Horus last. I don't know why I have the Horus last. I'll take the Horus over the Striker. We have the Horus last there. But we have all the loadouts that we just talked about. So we come down here. We're going to go combination. It's just fair that way. You see the Static HV is dominating. It's dominating up to 20 meters. And then it does drop off pretty hard. The Superior, when you include ADS time, gets separated from the Striker and the FJX Horus. And when you go sprint to fire time, it comes right back into the pack, but the Superior just moves so well that despite all of that, it does come in ahead of the other weapons. When you look at the BP50, when you're not including ADS time or sprint to fire, the BP50 is very similar to the other time to kill, especially the FJX Horus, and it drops off all the way at 14 meters. You can see one of the reasons the FJX Horus ranks where it ranks is that is such a short drop off, even with the build we have, and that's its biggest problem why it ranks 5th. You look at the Superior and you're like, well, it's got the 3rd best time to kill, but its movement speed, once again, is just so good. The Striker, you can make an argument in for 4 or 5 because of that damage drop-off, but it's just losing out time to kill. And if you're concerned with damage drop-off, the Static goes out to 20. You're not really using SMGs up to 27.5 meters. So at some point, that kind of becomes useless. We look at ADS time one more time. When you include ADS time, BP50, surprisingly still right up there, but weirdly sprint to fire, it falls back into the pack. So let's go down to the bottom and we kind of look at why all that is. ADS move speed, which isn't a very important move speed metric. The Static HV 4.1 and the BP50s down at 3.21 and the second worst, but ADS move time we're not really too concerned about. What's surprising is you go to the ADS time, the Static and the Superior are pretty much the same with these builds. The BP50 is 170 and it's by far the fastest. The bullet velocity on the BP50 is weak, unfortunately, but the FJX Horus is 480 and the Superior is 557, which is a downside of the Superior and why so many people will go high grain rounds. Crouch speed, the BP50 is the fastest and it's not super close. The fire rate is 986, which is really forgiving up there with the Horus. The The hit scan range is very good for the static, though, and it's one of the reasons why static is number one. The mag size, you can see that the Striker and the BP-50 both have 60, which is another reason why the BP-50 weirdly has such fast ADS and such good movement, and it comes with a 60-round mag. The move speed, you can see this is where the Superi holds its second place. It's 6.16, so more than 1 faster than the BP-50, and almost 0.8 faster than the static. Reload time, this is one of the arguments for the BP-50 being in third and not higher up, is 3.6 seconds is the longest reload time. But the sprint speed, once again, the Superi is almost 0.8 higher than the BP-50 and almost 0.9, or it's about 0.8 higher than the static HV, so it just moves way faster. Its sprint to fire is 91 milliseconds, so that's the fastest, which also helps it a lot. Its swap speed is 1845, which is the fastest. Actually, I mean, I'd be honest with you, I don't remember how to read that. Its sprint speed, its tack sprint speed is 8.2 meters, so you're schmoovin' with it. Where the FJX Horus's is surprisingly fast at 7.08. And then you have the BP-50 and the static tied at 7.07. So you can see the Superi just moves the fastest. The static HV has the best time to kill. And the BP-50 is kind of a combination of those two with the conversion kit on it, which is why I say that they all be 1, 2, and 3. It's like trying to rank Patrick Mahomes. He's the best at movement and TTK combined, so he has an argument for 1. You know, okay, this is probably going too deep. Allen's the most physical, best time to kill, whatever. And Burrow is just different mentally, but that's kind of a weird comparison. I'm kind of rambling here. So thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell if you like this type of content first. Let me know, once again, down below in the comments what you think of these builds. Like I said, all my socials, my Twitch, all linked down below. Feel free to join me on any other platform, including my single-player YouTube channel, which is linked down below. True Game Data is linked down below for your own comparison's sake. I will see you on Urzikstan. I almost said Mazrah. Urzikstan, Fortune's Keep, Rebirth Island, and Vondel. Get frying. Have a good day. Bye.